Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Elite 100. Great to see you guys. If you guys could flip on your cameras, even if it's a bad hair day, we'd still love to see you. I know Greg's having a good hair day. Love to see that. Why don't we start with some wins and then we'll get into the mastermind principles. I wanted to share a win. We had our good friends, Chris and Erica Cates on last night on the Mindset Masters, just kind of teaching and interviewing on couples, successful couples in entrepreneurship and healthy relationships. So Chris, thank you, and Erica for that. Who else has a win they want to share?
I have a win, Brian.
What's up, Greg? How you doing, bud?
So we try to live balanced and fulfilling lives obviously here. So I was able to take the family out this past weekend. We live in a very beautiful area here in Florida, but we saw like 50 dolphin, like hundreds of stingrays, like on our own, like we were kayaking and stuff. So it was really a special time with the family, and just got to enjoy a lot of just downtime with the kids, and that was very special for us. So that's the win.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. The kids must have been out of their minds.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's cool.
Very cool. Who else has a win they want to share? Could be big, could be small, doesn't really matter. Kevin?
Yeah, so I got another stream of income going.
Nice.
Week. I recorded 6 videos. I found my videographer. So we're like recording 6 videos for our YouTube channel. So we're gonna start monetizing content over there. So that's super exciting. I got a sneak peek of the first video that's going to be released this Thursday. It's gonna be a lot of value to the viewers. I think our viewers will like it. So very excited about that.
Yeah, you've been killing videos for a little while now, so now it's time to monetize, which I love, especially in your industry. So that should be a pretty good thing to do. So,
yep.
Awesome. Well, good wins there. Love it, love it, love it. A couple of housekeeping things. Again, the retreat, the next Elite 100 retreat is August 16th to the 20th. It's firm. It's done. You guys should have seen the booking link in the WhatsApp group, and I think you guys should have gotten some emails too. So book early, book often, make sure to get that locked in. It's going to be by far the best elite retreat ever, where we get the whole team behind it, and looking forward to that. So let's make sure to start booking that. You guys should have all gotten the life purpose. And if anybody hasn't, the life purpose, I'll call it a workshop or assessment. If you haven't gotten that, please get with Valerie, and she can connect you with either Maddie or Angie to take that. It's super powerful, and you guys all get that for free too. So I just want to make sure that you guys are taking advantage of everything that we have there. Mr. Cates, would you care to lead us in the mastermind principles? If I share the screen.
I'll be happy to. All right. Mastermind principles. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so I can move into the future with a clean slate. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires, and I hear my mastermind partners supporting me in my fulfillment. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful knowing that this is so. Thank you. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to the world and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Amazing. Thank you for that, brother. Good rendition. Good to have you back. So Awesome. We're going to continue with accountability, checking in on people's goals. And again, just a quick 5 or 10 minutes, checking in where you're at and seeing if we can help you guys at all. So why don't we start with my main man, Ara? Just a refresh on what your current C-type goal is, some things you've been doing towards it, and we'll see if any ideas pop up.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Oh, I wasn't ready for you, my friend.
Well, you're still working on the St. Kitts thing, or what's your current C-type goal?
Yeah, I'm still working on that. And also, sorry, I didn't get to call a win out. Eric and I yesterday had lunch with Kyle. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, we're starting to, we want to do this as a routine, excuse me, routine meetings and getting to know more of each other's business and maybe do something synergy there. My goal is my C-type goal is have been I'm grateful that I now am worth over. Excuse me, my throat's killing me. I have no idea why.
You want to take a
$1 billion, and my and I have $100 million coming in annual basis from multiple sources with calm, cool, and collective manner. But the only thing I added to that script was that I live in a healthy body and able to devote half my time to philanthropy.
I love that. And let me ask you a simple question. What, if anything, did you study this morning towards that?
I had TIR twice. I listened to lesson 2, and I read the Bible for about 20 minutes,
Okay.
and did my meditation. Thanks to you, and she's the one who kind of got me going in that. So every morning I do that. That's what I'm doing.
Very cool. So do you end up going starting thinking in results again?
Yes,
Is anybody going through that with you? Is it you and Eric, or just something you're doing?
just by myself.
Okay. Well, that might be one thing, is to grab Eric and a bit of accountability. We're going to be starting in we are going to be starting in, what's that book? I keep forgetting the book. It is
Science of Getting Rich.
Yes, the Science of Getting Rich. So we'll be starting that shortly. But yeah, I'm actually going through Lead the Field again with the entire Inner Circle group, just like I've never done it before. So that's awesome.
Actually, I want to be, because I've never done Lead the Field.
Okay.
Brian, it's kind of funny, and I know everybody here knows this 100%, but it's worth repeating. When you say repeat this over and over and over again, so that the subconscious hears it, understands it. There were 2 light bulb moments in the last time I listened to the TIR from beginning to end, which I thought I've heard this a million times. I can mimic Bob's voice already, but they were not apparent to me until this time. So it was something new.
What were do you remember what the moments were? Or?
Well, when he was reading the Mastermind things, when it said I forgive, that something just happened to me a couple of weeks ago, that a family member and I had a big clash, and I, right after the meeting, the thing, I texted him. I said, I forgive you, and I hope you forgive me for if I hurt you. Thanks, you. You're kind of the catalyst on that. A couple of years ago, a year ago. So it resonated with me that we really need to do that right away, not wait 6 months and then get it over with.
Well, that's a really good. It's a really good point, because forgiveness is not even for you, right? When we are talking about forgiveness, it's really for us to release toxic energy. Right. So it's not even for the other person. It's for us to release that negative energy and to not hold on to something, because it can obviously be super toxic.
Quite.
So I'm glad you got that. I've gone through TR probably 5 or 6 times now, and every single time I go through it, There's something new like that. There's something like an aha moment. You think you've seen it all, and it's like, and it's just something glaring. So for you, is this forgiveness? It's funny. That's one of the last things in the mastermind principles too,
Yes.
is understand. I know I see Len shaking his hand. Len, you got a comment, bud?
I do. I think that a sign of growth for me, and I'll put it on me, but I'm sure that we're all in the same boat, is that to forgive means we had to blame. So when I grow more, I don't even blame. So then I don't have to go through that whole forgiveness process.
So
Not
you don't
bad.
see. Wow.
Thanks, Ed.
That's definitely the next level of awareness, right? So we get to a point where we don't even, I mean, yeah, we don't even hold a grudge. We don't even get upset or have anything to forgive. We just sort of accept things as they are, and that people are people. And that it always reminds me of Viktor Frankl and in Man's Search for Meaning. It's like, if he could forgive, those people for what they did to him, like, what's the relativity for us? So, Ara, is the St. Kitts project still on the table?
Brian, as far as I know, yes, it's the funding has been the biggest problem. But supposedly we're getting closer to the end. But I've heard this song before, so I'm putting all the positive energy and making sure that I think about it every day and provide any documentation that they need all the time. We'll see. We'll see.
Is there anything we can do to help that? Other than putting energy towards it?
Energy is very much welcome, but second is if this funding source doesn't happen, I think I'm going to reach out to you guys to see if anyone can help me.
Well, we should look at that, because there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. And just so, if for those who don't know, Ara's got a $650 million deal on the table, the big project in St. Kitts, and I really want to see that happen for you guys. So yeah, we should chat about that, because there's a lot of ways to get things done, and if we can use the collective power of the group here to mastermind on that. So
Perfect,
awesome.
definitely.
Thank you, brother. Mr. Barnett, what about you, handsome? What is your current C-type goal? What are some of the things you're doing towards it? And we'll see if anything comes up.
Well, it's the sevens. $7,777,777 per month by January 7th, 2027.
Okay, that's what I have written down.
Yep. So what we're doing is we're wrapping up getting these vacation rentals furnished and ready to go, hopefully by June 1st. And the other action I'm taking is I've been working with you trying to get this corporation, Nevis Corporation, accepted and all that stuff done with the AI group.
Yeah, it looks like we have a light at the end of the tunnel on that one. So it's all about keeping the faith.
Yep. And so that's been basically our focus lately. And this morning I did gratefuls and affirmations. I've been writing them. And every night we listen to, right now we're probably in the 7th or 8th day of listening to lesson 4 from TIR.
Okay, very good. Love it, love it. Mr. Shine, what about you, bud? What is your current C-type goal, and what are some things you got going on we could help?
Let me get my microphone. I was hoping you'd call on me. I have 3 C-type goals. One is I'm so happy and grateful now that I receive over $1 million per month in passive income from multiple sources on a continuous basis. We get to keep, use, spend, and give joyously. Also, same thing with $1 billion net worth. And
that one changed.
Right. And then 145 pounds and in the best health and shape of my life, which you kind of said is more of a B-type goal, but I'm working towards it. It's working out, and I'm running and having fun with that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. And the health one would be more in your life script, right? So we have goal cards, we have the vision books, we have the life script. So the reason why it's not really a C-type goal is you know what to do to get that. Doesn't mean it's not worthy, obtainable, and would change your entire life. I'm not saying that. But the $1 billion in net worth is a C-type goal because we don't necessarily know all the pieces. And the whole idea is to call into existence, from source of people, places, and things and circumstances that'll help. But absolutely, in your life script, you can talk about how it feels and get accountability partners, put things in place. Have you started cold plunging at all?
I used to do it with the shower, but I'm trying to figure it out because I'm back in Rhode Island, so I wanted to get like a real thing for the backyard.
Yeah.
And so I've done it, but I'm not doing it right now. So
Yeah, no, I plan on doing it. Dave, I still haven't seen the video there, bro.
yeah.
I want to see the video, and like, especially with the breathing, because last time I tried to cold plunge down at the Icon Brickle, it was I think 49 degrees, and I got in and I lost my breath. I felt like pain and I got out. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. So let me show you how easy it can be, because I live in a condo on the beach.
Mhm.
So I'm just taking you to my little girl's shower. So in here, blow up, there it is. It's 45 degrees, ready to go. I did it this morning. So, and you can take that outside, blow it up, take it on vacation, or whatever. It's only $100.
So you just kind of curl up in a ball and get in there, huh?
Yeah, you just get in there with like my yoga stance, and that's the cold plunge, and you just blow it up and do it, and it makes it easy. But I could take it outside by my boat, fill it up, throw the ice in there. In fact, my buddies for this weekend want me to bring the cold plunge to the boat party and throw it on the back of my swim platform and do cold plunges at the boat party.
Now, am I correct? Is there any weight loss benefits or triggers that are?
Are you kidding me? 100% weight loss, because it's increasing brown fat, increasing your metabolism, increasing your testosterone, increasing your growth hormone, increasing your circulation. It is the best anti-aging thing you can ever do. It's like taking a cycle of steroids naturally.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So I was
Yeah.
Motivation.
Thanks, Dave.
I concur.
Yeah.
I see a lot of heads. Yeah.
I read Wim Hof's book, and actually, since I'm back up here, I got a buddy of mine who just wants to go jump in the ocean this weekend. He's a maniac, so
Yeah.
we're gonna do that. So yeah. But anyway, so my goal, so when I went to the elite retreat and I was on the hot seat, I talked about splitting up from my partner. We are splitting up as of July 1st.
Very cool.
Yeah, YOLO.
That'll be a huge
Yeah.
weight release for sure.
Yeah, and so start doing the title business. I also have a salesman down in Florida who has a relationship with a broker that he's just starting. Because I'm not an attorney in Florida, but I'm a licensed title agent, so I can close loans in Florida. And so my plan is to keep the title agency and the law firm going so I can close in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Florida. But at the same time, I took Dave Steck's Just Be the Bank, and we're putting together the LLC for the Just Be the Bank. And I'm starting that business. And the nice thing is that my 2 paralegals that I have here in Rhode Island, they already know how to do the mortgages, the notes,
very
the
cool.
personal guarantees. And but I am looking for any advice, because every book I pick up these days, I just picked up one called The Pumpkin Plan, and they're always like, stay on one thing, don't be doing 2 things at once. And
So I have a little bit of advice. Take it or leave it. It's just my opinion based on study over time. A lot of people say, keep the main thing, which I agree with. But the question is, what is the main thing?
right.
A lot of self-made, like low-level millionaires will be like, I just do this one thing, and right. But when you talk to billionaires, the main thing might be, running 100 companies, like a Richard Branson. So the main thing in his mind is impacting the world through hundreds of companies. That's still one thing, though. It's a
Gotcha.
different way to look at things, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we can get confused by what people are saying. Like I said, a lot of low-level millionaires will be like, just do real estate. Well, if you only do real estate and the whole entire market, crashes, you can be in trouble, right? So the
Right.
main thing for you is your C-type goal. If it takes multiple things to get there, that's okay, right? And
Yes,
it's just more a matter of making sure, you know, what you do legally and with real estate and owning and renting and now lending, that's all synergistic, even though it's multiple things. In other words, you don't have like, you know, a pizza shop and a real estate company and, you know, window washing company. Like, and
Right.
like personally running them as the CEO on the job, like 4, you know, 3 or 4 40-hour week jobs. So as long as things are synergistic and then passive is the other thing, which is obviously what we're focusing on. So just make sure you look at that through your own lens and what you want versus somebody just like keep one thing. And that's at least my point of view. I don't know if anybody else has a point of view on.
thank you. That was
Okay.
awesome. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Good. Very good. Mr. Roth, what about you, bud? We're gonna get a full-blown hot seat for you coming up here as soon as you want, but just really quick so we know, you know, what is your main purpose, your C-type goal, what you're going after here?
I appreciate that, Brian. So Trey Roth in Atlanta, Georgia. I know I haven't, really gotten to know everybody quite yet, but it's a pleasure to be here. So I'm the founder of a platform called YayStack. It's a recommendation referral platform. So just think what Pinterest is to interest, YayStack is to referrals and recommendations. So our goal ultimately is to provide a minimum of 100x return for all our Yangels. Everything at YayStack is Yay. So we have the Yay team, the Yay list, and what we affectionately call our Yangels, which are our shareholders. So that's the big C-type goal that I have in my mind every single day. So we're all about the yays. Everything is as yay for us. It's all positive, all yays, no nays.
I love it. And just, let me know when you want a full, because these guys haven't been introduced to like who and what you are and all the things. So just raise your hand when you want a full-blown hot seat. But is there anything quick that we could do to help you? Is there a website that we could go visit and check out or look at or like or?
Absolutely. I can put it in the chat. This is a private site. It is password protected, but I guess we're getting to know each other quick here. Yangel.com. And then the password is yays 4 days. So the quick on that, I mean, if I'm going to share this with you, then I very quickly, I'll share a little bit of background here.
Yes.
So I think it would be most helpful actually to share on the personal side. My dad was an air traffic controller. We moved to a new town when I was in 3rd grade, my twin brother and me. And I went to a playground and I saw a girl and the clouds parted and the sun shone through on her and I fell in love, but she did not fall in love with me. I was short and overweight, had bad skin. My teeth were all over the place. Kids made fun of me when I smiled. So I just decided not to talk. So I was, a mute. I had layers of insecurity, but I had this huge crush on this girl. 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, same girl, same crush. Finally, in 8th grade, I find a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh yeah.
By Dale Carnegie. That opened my mind to personal development for the first time. Then I found a guy named Tony Robbins, and I decided to run. And I'd listen to Tony. This is midnight to 2 a.m. every night of 8th grade. And I'm listening to Tony and I'll get winded, and stop for a break. And then I'll hear Tony, all you need is within you now. And then I'll just pick up and run again, But I ran every night of 8th grade and I lost a bunch of weight. I grew a foot taller. I got braces, I started smiling. And then finally in 9th grade, I'm 14, she's 15, same girl, same crush. I finally built up the confidence to ask this girl out. And she says yes. And then we date for 7.5 years to the day of our wedding. And now we've been married for 16 years and we have 4 beautiful children. So I share this story with you, Goosebumps. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I share this story with you because this was very, very formative as to who I am personally and professionally. I really did learn from an early age. You can dream big and work hard. And in my case, literally work my butt off. And then not only can your dreams come true, but your reality can be even better far better than you even dreamed. So I learned from an early age, oh my goodness, like pay attention to your dreams, no matter how big, because you really can take the action to do the work required to see it come into your life. And so seemingly impossible dreams come true all the time. So I share that with you because I'm a serial entrepreneur. I come from the music industry. I'm a voting member of the Recording Academy and get to go to the Grammys every year and all this. And I had success in the music industry. Basically, if you've watched a TV show on NBC, ABC, E! Channel, Bravo, you've heard my music. Super grateful and blessed for a fantastic music career. And that business all grew through word of mouth referrals. And I just knew, someday somebody's going to build the referral network. The social network exists with Facebook, professional network exists with LinkedIn. The referral network is next. And that's the most economically valuable information in the world. What do you like and why? Comprehensively. So that's what we are at Yaystack. And so we've got big dreams, big goals, and we're running from midnight to 2 a.m. every night, to see it come to fruition. But that ultimately led me here.
Very cool. I love that. Let me know, when are you going to be ready for a hot seat?
Whenever you need me.
You want to do it next week?
Sure.
All right, we'll touch base offline. And so, you want to come to the group with obviously the vision of Yaystack, but also what else? Because that's one thing, but I know you're about many things. So we can get much deeper into your background, and we'll get into Yaystack if you want to present it, things like that. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Thank you all for the love in the chat.
Awesome. Love the story. Yeah, that's I get goosebumps on that one too.
I appreciate it, Brian. And I just got to say, Brian and I connected in 2019 in San Diego at a Brendan Burchard event. Like when it was packed, everybody was trying to get an Uber, like 1,000 people outside trying to get an Uber. And Brian and I bumped into each other and started talking. And little did we know that 4 years later, we would circle back around. It's like, oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
So
we
like
reconnected. It's like, wait, we actually know each other.
yeah. So it's cool how that works.
Cool. Awesome. Can't wait. We'll get you in. I took a note on that too, and we can connect offline about preparing for that.
Thanks, Brian.
Mr. Abalo, would you rather be called Tim Abalo or Soros? Why don't you explain what the Soros is to the group here? Oop, I think you're muted, bud.
I'm like juggling 3 different devices attempting to be on this call. So I've been in definitely a what does Tim want? What does Tim want? I think I'm going to be going to my name, Tim Abalo, eventually. There's just been a lot of like rethinking, what do I want? And in my C-type goal, I'm a teacher that rewires minds, and I've been in the coaching industry for 3 to 4 years. And there's some aspects I'm not enjoying as much, like for example, Amazon tactical coaching. I much prefer the mindset, and that's starting to come out more and more. And so I've just been, in the last 3 weeks, just meeting better and better people, having better and better conversations. I feel like I'm in a major planning stage for the next 1 to 2 years. What do I actually want? What are my favorite streams to be working on? So I had a nice meeting with Chris last week. I'm meeting with a guy, Will, that sells done for you Amazon stores tomorrow. And yeah, my C-type goal is, I'm a teacher. I'm so happy and grateful now that money and resources continuously and freely flow to me. I'm a teacher that rewires minds for success, and I have 15 million within 2 years. Sometimes I go to 100 million in 5 years, but the 15 million seems to excite me a little more that it's closer.
Okay, last time we chatted, you had a 500K a month short-term goal. Is that still on the table, or?
Yeah, so when we talked, we kind of even shortened it even more to get me more excited. Yes, it's going to be different streams that get me there, but I need to revisit my streams sheet. And I kind of have a separate one that's getting me there. So yeah, I would say my biggest challenge recently, because I'm still in this planning is, and because I've kind of been shaken up of what my current trajectory is, I just want to, there's so many ways to make money, and I want to make sure it's fully aligned with my heart. And I have all these partners and people involved with me, and I can't tell you how many projects I start like very excited, and then I realize there's like a misalignment, and I brought people along with me. And there's no regrets there, but my partners and people that I'm involved with, keep in really good touch with and try to, like, you know, we care for each other's hearts and for each other's, you know, souls and where we want to go. So it's all good. But, you know, I'm in an early stage entrepreneur, I'd say. You know, I have a level of security, but not the security I want. And there's a level of this stop. Sometimes it feels like you're stopping and starting when really you're just realigning heart. And sometimes it's a fine line between that and, oh, am I shying away from a challenge? Maybe I do need to learn this lesson, right?
1,000,000%. That's one thing that comes to mind too is, and this has happened to me multiple times. I'm sure everybody here, this has happened, is you start really rocking and rolling and like taking off in a direction and think everything's flowing. Next thing you know, things start to change or crash a little bit or alter. And it's so easy to like, well, maybe I should change my goal, or maybe I should get something a little smaller. It's easy to kind of second guess your goal. But the whole point of the goal is to lead with energy first. Like, I don't care what your present circumstances are. I don't care if you go bankrupt, because a lot of billionaires have gone bankrupt and right back to billionaire. So just think about that one thing. They've gone from billionaire to zero back to billionaire. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It more matters the mindset. We're going to go through a rhythmic nation, or a pattern, I should say, right? The law of rhythms.
Right. I'll be vulnerable here about and this is a tough one because I'm amongst coaches, and my C-type is I love inspiring people. I love teaching people. I love rewiring people. I love helping them get to the next level. Well, a lot of that is family, friends, and employees. And I've been in coaching. I've been teaching. I probably taught 1,000 people Amazon, like touched that many people. And I enjoy it, but I won't say my top tier goal is to be this master educator.
Mm-hmm.
My top tier goal isn't to be like, you know, the best coach in the world. That happens to align with, I like inspiring people. But the service side of it has, I guess it can be a self-confidence thing, but the service side of it is a lot more emotional on me than I expected. And I know it's a lesson I'm going to need to learn one way or another, because, you know, whether it's coaching or it's raising my children, like it's a self-confidence thing where it's like, I'm giving my all, I know I'm giving my all, and I'm giving a really good product to these people, but 90% of the success is still on them.
Mm-hmm.
And in a relationship with children, it's the same way. It's something I'm going to have to learn. I know I'm going to have to see my daughter struggle and go through different things, and I give my best to her, but it's her. So I think on the coaching side, since I'm relatively new to like the intimate type coaching I'm doing right now, I feel like a 80% responsibility for the success. And a lot of it I'm just like making up in my own head. But where I'm going with this is it might not be that time for me to be learning that. I have other areas that I really enjoy and are really more naturally, you know, building one of my I'm going to be syndicating one of my Amazon stores, building that really big. I like building companies, and the coaching is taking a lot out of me, but I still have a lot of like energy for these other companies. So it's actually shaping up a lot more than I leading that to be. But that's kind of the conversations I've been having with myself the last.
Well, I think you're another one that we need to do a hot seat with you. I don't think you've had a full-blown hot seat. So maybe after Trey, we can get you geared up for that, because I hear a lot of different channels and a little bit of chaos, which is fine. The good thing is you have a lot of options. And that's the beautiful part about saying, you know, $500,000 a month from multiple revenue sources in a calm, confident, heavenly manner. You don't actually need to identify the sources, which sounds weird, right? But everything starts in the energy state. And if you're just brainwashing yourself every morning, getting into the space of $500K a month, you know, easy, calm, and effortless through multiple sources. And I would talk to a guy like Michael Shine, like when he started, like things just come. And the next thing you know, he's actually exiting his main, and you know, he's been around the block like me. He's been in his main thing is with his own business.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Brian.
So you're looking at the main thing, like, you know, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, you may not even do anything with Amazon. You might, and that's what happened with me. Like when engineer, architect, builder, had a construction company. I don't have that anymore. So my main identity has changed half a dozen times and over the years. But the key is to focus on, you know, the goal of what do you want, and things will come to you.
Yeah, I've experienced only in the last couple of weeks, like so many good, fully aligned opportunities are appearing. And I actually have a selection process at this point. And they're more aligned with what I'm currently doing in my eyes. So I'm excited to pick, but I'm also grateful for the moment where like this planning phase is pretty cool too. I'm kind of planning out,
Of course.
where I'm going to attack next.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and if you want to grab some one-on-one time, we can too. But let's get you into a hot seat over the next several weeks here.
Cool. Sounds good.
Miss Young, what about you? We haven't heard from you in a minute. What is your current C-type goal, and what are some things that you've been doing lately towards it?
So the current C-type goal is, we're so happy and grateful now that we're earning in excess of $108 million in passive income annually, easily and effortlessly. What's really amazing, and I think you guys shared this story before, is how the numbers come about and how everything comes into fruition, if you will. When we actually came across that number, we had no idea where this number was and what the meaning of it, but the teacher always comes when the student is ready. And what's amazing is there's actually so much spiritual meaning right around the number 108. I suggest anybody to go look it up. It's pretty wild and amazing how it all comes together. So with that said, just to kind of bounce off of you, Tim, if it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. Okay. So
I love it.
yes, it's
That's awesome. That is awesome. I don't think I've ever heard you swear.
I know it takes a little bit out of me to even swear, but it is true, right? Being in that position to say, if it's not a hell yes, it's a F no, like no,
You can
no,
swear.
no.
You're fine.
Because at the end of the day, it's all energy and vibration. So for me, I'm in love with the magic of every day as to who else do I get to connect with? What other conversation do I get to have? What evidence do I get to see? And I just want to go back to remembering the 4 levels of awareness, that things are happening to me, things are happening through me, right? To me, for me, through me, and as me. And I think it's very safe to say in this group, as we study together, as we elevate an awareness, how quickly thoughts become things, right? Like, pay attention to this. You think of something and no lie, the evidence shows up from someone or something or some way within seconds and like minutes, and just see the pattern and the repetition of that. So make a long story short, I'm just falling in love with the house and the way that the house shows up, right? There's a lot of collaboration. There's people joining our team to build that foundation. And for me, is to get this message out in the most easiest digestible ways to all different groups of people.
I love it. Is there anything we can do to support you guys? Again, jump on a link, visit a website,
I love it.
Drive traffic to something.
Speaking opportunities that you guys know of that I could be partnering with someone to speak on, please, please, please. I ask for that, number 1. Number 2, what's also really amazing is to be the witness of my husband, Matt, speak about
Yes.
and bring it into light, and really using this content and material. I mean, he's going into Tanzania like the Tuesday after Memorial Day, which is like a week away, right? And this is a guy that wants to start a safari company that has never been on a safari company before. And to watch all the pieces and things just come together, it's really magical. You're right, Michael, right? And I saw him toying back and forth with this idea. And as he releases more and more, and about how so many things are just flocking to him. So on top of that, it really gives me satisfaction and joy to watch that come into evolution, into fruition. So anybody that you send resources to his way is like helping me out as well. It just is, right? So definitely say yes to the safari experience as he launches it, right?
Well, why don't we switch gears to Matt and have him share his passion with that? And I'm pretty sure that Elite 100, we're all going to go on the first one of these things.
Yes.
Why don't you bring us up to speed, Matt?
Yeah, it's interesting, Brian, because I have a knowing doing gap on this, and I'm going to close it today. I have a very healthy obsession around this idea. I haven't written a C-type goal around it, which is interesting. So as we started this call, I just started kind of writing some things down at the end result of it. So I'm not going to use those words. So I am in a direction moving towards it. However, the bumpers are really far apart. because it's not narrowed down.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a money thing, right? Because you and Yun have the 108 million a year through collective things. This is just one of them. I would recommend to go like right brain on this one. Like, how many people a year are you running through this amazing experience? Maybe it's an amount of people, something like that, and really focus on, because this is not a money idea. Although you're going to make money, but that's not where this is at all. This is so from the heart and right brained. You know, maybe if you focus on 1,000 people a year or something as a C type goal, which you have no idea how to do yet, right?
No.
But anybody
No,
else have any advice on that? Because this is very much a right brain inspiration that Matt had, as far as like setting something he can read every morning to help him get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
I always go back to the Law and the Promise, Neville Goddard, The Complete Reader. Oh my God, I put the Complete Reader on Audible and ride my bike through the woods.
That's the collection of books, right? It's a whole bunch of them.
It's 10 books in one, and you can buy it on Audible with 1 credit. And he hits exactly what you said, the feeling of the wish fulfilled from every single angle, whether it's like more religious to like straight out examples. That's why I like the Law and the Promise. Examples speak to me, and it's just example after example of people just manifesting everything from like a hat to like the perfect house. So you'll be in the next one with your safari. You'll be in his next book.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna create white space today and really narrow down on this. So I will have I'll have a more specific C-type goal as far as next week is concerned.
Chris?
Sorry, I was trying to put my hand up for when you guys are done, actually. So when Matt's done, I've got a question.
For Matt or for yourself?
For myself.
Okay, we'll do you next. Matt, I don't think you had some input. I just saw your hand there.
Did you call on me?
I just did.
Okay. Matt, so this makes me feel like it's a lot bigger than you. It's not really, when I think of C-type goal, I think of like I don't want to use the word selfish, but it's like a selfish goal, right? It's like for us. This is not really for you. It's working through you. As Yen was saying before, like it's like the next level of awareness. So I think it would be a cool thing for you to ask what's working through you and receive direction to go and take on a daily basis. Like you're going to Tanzania. I mean, you don't need to worry about your C-type goal. You're going to Tanzania. Like that is huge. So I think it's more about receiving direction and acting upon it now versus when do I want this formed? It's like, no, when does whatever's working through me want it formed? What date do I receive is going to be the date that it's done? And what do I need to do as like a shepherd of this thing to get it done? That's what came to me for you. So just wanted to share.
Thank you, Maddie. I always highly respect everything and anything you say. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we have to get together soon. I'm in your neighborhood now.
I know. Come back to your old house.
I know.
Len, you get some advice or comment?
I have a comment, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Matt, and he's achieving going to Tanzania. He's going to achieve the safari. I think that maybe perhaps you would consider looking forward and what the benefit will be when you're successful with the safari. How will your life benefit, or how will you benefit other people with your success? That's going to happen. So you need to plan for the next step of where is this going to take you?
I love that.
Thanks, Len.
Mr. Patterson, what do you got,
You're
brother?
welcome.
Hey, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Little bit of news of note. I was on the last Elite 100, and Ivan gave me a referral to a guy in South Africa because one of my goals is to get in better shape, lose a little bit more fat. So the update is I hired the guy, and within 4 days, I'm down another 5 pounds. So He's fantastic. If anyone ever wants to get connected with him, I can do that for you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So I'm really only like maybe 5-8 pounds away from where I really want to be. So I'm very, very grateful. It's hard to explain the lifelong challenge it's been trying to keep myself lean. I seem to get there and then I go back up and then I go back down and everything else. So anyways, just wanted to share that win of the week for me. And then I had another.
Let me ask you real quick, what's the secret sauce? Was it a diet thing? Because you've been coming at this from every angle possible. You're not a lazy person. You've been, at the gym, you train MMA. I mean, what has it been, a diet thing or a mindset thing or a physical fitness thing or both?
So I've got a couple of internal challenges. My liver and my gallbladder are they're not destroyed, but they're not healthy. So Ivan heard that and he said, "Hey, you really need to talk to this guy." And he's a specialist in really helping heal your liver. But he does it through a program. It's just really just vegetables, lean meats, fermented foods.
Yeah.
It's been really good as far as the diet, but I think cutting out a lot of the carbs has been really beneficial for me. I've kind of been on that bodybuilder deal for centuries.
Yeah.
It's 6 meals and rice in every meal and all that kind of stuff, and it's just not working for me at 54.
Yeah.
So anyways, really excited about that. I will lose the rest of the weight. I'll get to my goal this summer. So I'm very, very excited about it. Maybe by Elite 100, I'll be there. By Elite 100, I'll be there.
I was going to say, maybe.
I caught myself, Brian.
You're gonna lose this weight or release it, brother.
My wife does this to me too. It's not an if. It's not an if.
We gotta get you to release this weight so you never find it again.
That's correct. And that is my C-type goal is I want to stay in shape the rest of my life. I want to stay healthy the rest of my life. It's not just about this one destination and that's it. For me, the C-type is, hey, let's ride this out for the rest of your life. So
it's a new paradigm. It's part of your new belief system and part of your new thing. I do have one thing, when you get down to your target weight, I would set a ceiling of 5 pounds over as like a red alert, like something in your mind. I remember and I need to work on this myself, but when I was in my peak shape, I always had that if I get 5 pounds over, like, for a week straight, I would either do 2 a days or really like just diet, bring it back down. So you give yourself that little bit of a window, but not 15, 20 pounds. Because that's what happened to me way back when. Next thing you know, you're like 15 over or something. It's like, what the hell, bro? It's because we don't have that mental ceiling. So just a thought to think about when you get there, have a 5 pound buffer. And then if you hit it, you just take a week and discipline back in, bring it back in. Maddie?
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Maddie.
How are you?
I'm doing outstanding.
So I at one point was fluctuating like 15 to 20 pounds in college, and it became really important to me to get my weight under control. So I started affirming, I still remember it. It was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I easily and effortlessly maintain a steady weight of 125 pounds. That was my statement. And I read that, I'm not kidding you, until I was like blue in the face every day. If I was walking at the gym, I would loop it in my ears, I would listen to it. I think sometimes being this information, we underestimate the power of repetition, of autosuggestion, because we're like, we've been in this for so long, like we're good. But I'm not kidding you guys, I drown myself in audio loops. If I want a result, if it's like a certain amount of money or a weight or like a number target, I create an audio loop and I put it in my ears, like repetitive, like annoyingly repetitively, morning and night. And after that, I mean, I didn't even change anything. I didn't look for a dietitian. I didn't look for the gym. I didn't look for anything. I remember my taste buds literally changed. Like I would gravitate towards fruit and veggies versus cake and sweets. Like the natural desire for me changed to be healthier. And I gravitated towards the gym and I started competing. But I never said like, I have to compete today, or I have to start this, or I have to do this to lose weight. It was the mind and then everything else fell into place. So just wanted to remind us all about the power of auto-suggestion, really.
That's so good. I was at dinner a couple weeks ago with Brian, and he said he had a conversation with Bob, and Bob said, what was it again? He goes, auto suggestion is so easy that most people miss it.
It's so simple that most people miss it. Yep. It really is that principle. And it's just like blocking and tackling. It's really getting back to the basics of what we do here. You know, sometimes we study, you know, so many things that are pretty in depth. We forget like just the basics of having a goal card or auto suggesting. So Maddie, I think that's great to really just bring up the core basics of what we're working with here.
All right. I do have one more question.
Sure.
So my wife and I often on Sundays, we go drive around and look at real estate. She loves looking at different properties and dreaming and envisioning and all that kind of thing. And I guess I'm having a challenge with, you know, manifesting what I want and believing for what I want, but then the reality of what I can actually get. And then she's like, well, what are we even doing then? It doesn't make any sense. If, you know, we're supposed to, I'm like, honey, if we don't have that amount of money right now, we can't get it right now.
Oh, this is a classic. This is a classic one, brother. And this happens a lot, especially between spouses. I would not ask your wife's opinion when it comes to a large financial goal, because she's never generated $100 million company or something. And it's not an ignorant thing. It's just you're asking. Ignorance just means not knowing. It's not a bad term, but you're asking an ignorant person their advice on like a big, what we would consider a big goal. And it's an easy thing to fall into with spouses. But you know, just think about that. You should only be seeking financial business advice from somebody that has the results that you want.
I know, but the challenge between my wife and I is she believes, well, you know, if we're just believing for it and everything else, we should just be able to go get it. And I said, well, shoot, why don't we go get $100 million yacht while we're at it and buy a few buildings and, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's the reality, there's the belief and the imagination and all of those things, which I'm completely 100% in on. But then there's the reality of, you know, can we go buy this $20 million mansion today?
Well, the reality is
and is it wise with interest rates and all these other things, right?
No, maybe not. That's a business decision. But don't forget, when we have something, what does that mean? Does it mean that it's physically here or that we're manipulating in the energy state? So we look at have as a finite thing, like, oh, I have an iPhone. But most of this phone existed in thought energy for decades before it ever became a thing. So if we understand this, you have the $21 million mansion, you have it in the energy state, in the intellectual state. The only place you don't have it is in the physical state. But Bob used to say, you know, not even Bob, Bruce Lipton in the biology of belief, when he's studying quantum mechanics, says that 99.9998% of anything physical is in the energy state first. So you can have something without physically having it. Matter of fact, we need to do that. We need to feel it, be it, love it, visualize it before the money comes to buy the thing physically. And it's a tricky game, right? It's a tricky, you know, coexistence between spirit, intellect, and body. So you guys are just really in the physical state. Like, I want to buy the thing now. It's like, well, time is a very physical thing. It's not a spiritual thing. But you need to own it. Like, this is where the vision books and the pictures and the visuals, maybe you go rent one for a week. That's something you could do, right? You could take 50 grand and go rent a $21 million mansion for a week or a couple of weeks. And that is something you could do today. We did the same thing with a jet a couple of times, and I was, at some point we'll have one, but I've been in one multiple times and chartered one and lived it, breathed it. So that would be my advice. Michael and then Maddie.
I just wanted to add to what Maddie said. I'm doing, I think I've read a bunch of times Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. And he has a 30-day challenge, which is just, you know, your goal card, kind of what we're doing all the time. But if anybody wants to join me in the Earl Nightingale Strangest Secret 30-day challenge, it's amazing. So yeah.
I would post that in the group. You might get a couple of bites on that one. Maddie?
Okay.
Michael, I'll join you. That'd be fun.
Yeah, post that in both you guys. I bet you get a lot of bites. That's a great thing to do, by the way. I love that. Did you have something else, man?
Yeah, so a few things came to me, Chris. One is one is a book recommendation for your wife and you called Love and Respect. By Laura, if you remember, help me. Hold on.
You just pop in Love and Respect and the doctor comes from Dr. Emerson, some weird last name, but if you put in Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson, it'll pop right up.
Yeah. Recommend that book for your wife and you and any marriage or couple or anything on here. And then the second thing is, you're living in magical times. Like I hear your story when you speak and it's like you've come from this place and now you're in this whole different reality. And I would just encourage you and your wife to just not miss it. Life goes by so fast, like so fast. You're living in such a delicious space that both of you used to dream of, and now you're here.
I agree.
And it's like, how can you guys use each other to soak in the moments of where you're at right now? What if it never comes? Does it matter? How are you going to harness the now together? Maybe you sit and you stare into each other's eyes. It sounds crazy, but for a minute, 5 minutes, a week, a month, it's like, where are we right now? How can you guys gain presence in your relationship in your life? Because that's what's going to catapult you guys into that next reality anyway. It's the power of now.
Our relationship's actually pretty great. She just wants something that isn't feasible today.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? Because it's like, okay, that makes me as like, man, want to go out, provide, get, chase, hunt, do the things, like, right?
Yeah, and it also puts the pressure back on me. I'm like, all right, and then I feel like I got to try harder and all that kind of thing. And, yeah, but it put me kind of in a. I was frustrated. I'm like, honey, I want to get that house for you and for myself and for the kids and everything else. I would love to do that. But it's not really the right time to do this for a myriad of reasons. So, well, why are we learning everything that we're learning?
Oh boy, that's a challenging one.
I'd be happy to chat with your wife. But okay, wait, I have one more thing. So Dalton and I were watching the McGregor documentary the other day. And one thing
That's a good one.
McGregor said in the documentary, they asked him the question, they said, what is it that you want? Like, what did you want the whole time? What was your goal? And he was like, I've never wanted for anything. He's like, I don't want anything. He's like, I'm everything. Even when I was in the gym, when I was working out with my trainer, he's like, I didn't want for anything. I walked in there like I already was it. I've always been this. I've always been me. It's like, what are you talking about? If the question didn't even register in his mind.
I suggest everybody watch that. Really
like, I'm it all. So I wanted to bring that to you as well. It's like you already have all the things. It's just in a different time space reality that you're not in yet, and that's it.
And I think it's the time answer is really what we have to have a talk about, because I'm believing for it. I'm believing for a lot of different things too, but today's not the day, unfortunately.
Hey, a couple things, guys. We are at the top of the hour. Let's stay on for a couple of things. For those that are in Phil Goldfein's movie deal, we actually have his business partner on going to give us an update. So I just wanted to say that. Hang on for a couple of minutes. Chris, you had a question or a comment?
I was just going to say, when I watched the McGregor documentary, I thought that McGregor was like in the content, because it just seemed like a lot of the things he was saying was.
He is in the content.
Yeah.
It was
He's
really
also an unconscious competent. He studies, but he's also just like, so anytime we say we want something, what you're telling yourself is you don't have it.
Right.
And right in the same, what we have is what we have. So he's always been that feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Right.
I definitely want to expand on that. So my suggestion would be for everybody to watch that documentary to really get into see, because the guy's the best of the best in the industry, and there's no way he should have been by all. It's almost like a Tom Brady, right? If you looked at him day one, you're like, no way. So I suggest everybody watch that. Awesome, everybody. Great mastermind. Hopefully you guys get some good value. Again, if you guys are in the movie deal, feel free to stay on. And even if you're not, if you're curious, we're going to get an update on that. And I want to bring Bing Dang to the front and center here. Do you need screen share or just an update?
You know what? This is my first time being on this group, so thank you very much for inviting me. I'm kind of coming at this per Phil's request, and you as well, Brian. I'm actually in Italy right now. We're shooting
nice.
a science fiction film. So if there's a noise there, I apologize. I'm outside. You know, we have
No worries.
basically a bunch of trailer. But so I'm here to answer any questions that the group will have. If there's, I mean, tell me what it is that you guys
Yeah, I
know.
think that the biggest thing is obviously we know that the movies have to go out and they have to be sold, and like nobody expects royalties for some time, but the initial investment was projected to come back last January, and obviously it's about a quarter late. So I think most people are just wondering the status of the movies and when the initial investment will come back.
Well, first things first. The initial plan was for the movie to be released last Christmas of 2022. However, our distributor, Lionsgate, they had enough Christmas movie, so they wanted to hold these two films, The Magic Penguin and Snow White's Christmas, until this Christmas, November and December of this year. So it's coming out this year, not last year. And again, it's their prerogative. They're the studio. They make those calls. You know, we have no say. And in terms of delivery, what ended up happening was because it was coming in this year, we slowed down the delivery. We didn't put 100% on it because we're like, okay, it's releasing from last year, so releasing next year. So we do the best we can, and we keep marching forward. So as of today, May 13th, Snow White Christmas is almost in. It's 90% done. There was a couple of quality control with the audio, which is being fixed. And throughout the film, it will probably take about 3.5 weeks to fix. After that, we turn in the movie and it's 100% turned into Lionsgate. After that, we also turn in all the legal delivery, which is all the paperwork, you know, crew deal memos, chain of titles, all the paperwork that's needed to back up this film. And that was also going to be coming in within the next 3.5 to 4 weeks. Once they have received our delivery, then they will review it. Their Lionsgate legal will then review all the paperwork, review the film, so that everything, you know, they cross their T's, dot their I's, chain of title is clear, you know, insurance is bought. All these things I can all obviously explain in a detailed email if you wish to know what is the delivery that needs to be given to a particular studio for film. Then they slot to have it out. The Magic Penguin is supposed to go out in November of this year, and Snow White's Adventure will go out December of this year. Excuse me. So once they accept legal delivery and physical delivery, they usually pay back the MG in about 60 days. Their net 60, which is studio talk means within 60 days you get your money from when we accept delivery. So if everything goes as planned, we're looking at for those two films, end of August and end of September of this year.
Okay.
To get the investment back. Now, Phil, I don't know if Phil has told you guys, but until we have the domestic release of these two films, we can't sell foreign.
Yes, yeah, that we're aware of. Yeah.
Right. Always takes precedence over foreign. They release domestic. There's a period of holdback, probably within 30 days or 40 days, and then it can go out to the foreign market. That's how it's always been. That's what I know on both films. The Magic Penguin's 100% in to Lionsgate from last year. It's also legal delivery. We had a couple of issues with international because there's a child star in the movie, and so California law is very strict when it comes to children. So we may need a ratification for this kid for the international child labor. And again, from England, for a child to fly anywhere in the world, because of the whole, child trafficking thing, it is almost impossible for a child to travel unless he or she has paperwork documenting 100% legal. And there's a parents traveling with the child. So we have that, but California and this weird legislation just say that we also may need a California ratification from the courts. Either way, I think we're working on that. It's gonna get worked out, and we should be good within the next, again, 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks maximum. and then everything gets turned in, and then we just sit and wait for them to review it. Everything should be good. And again, we're looking at end of August, end of September.
Very good, very good. Does anybody have any questions?
And again, just the reason why this happened was because Lionsgate decided, and I can forward you the language from Lionsgate Legal itself from last year that says, no, we are releasing this in the fourth quarter of 2023.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just some, and I'll give you my email address, just, every month, every other month, just an update. It's nobody's freaking out or panicking. It's just, we just haven't heard anything, like zero. And it's, we were thinking that the money was coming back January, and here we are halfway through the year. So it's more about communication.
I truly,
Yeah.
Brian, I truly apologize because again, I have never met you guys, have seen you guys. All I know is all the forms that you guys signed and sent back to me. So I'm glad to see. I've spoken to Ara about a couple of things. I've spoken to you, Brian, but I have never met everybody else. So thank you very much for, letting me see everybody. And you have my email, and I will give you an update month to month as things go, where we are in the report. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out directly. And as soon as we are clear, we should be able to get payments. We'll work it out and get back to everybody.
Awesome. Much appreciated. Greg, did you have a question or did he answer it? I saw your hand was up.
I think ours, go ahead, Ara, first.
Sorry, Greg. The strikes, are they affecting you at all right now?
The strike does not affect the films that we already made last year because it's done. There's not